Hi, this is John Doe, aka Frags with the DNB Academy, and welcome to another sound recreation video. For this one, I brought you this awesome tune by T95 and NCT called Pull Dat, and we're gonna be focusing on the main sort of lead sound of these tunes. So let's take a listen to the original first, and then we'll go right into it.
Yeah, there's no low blow, said it's full fat. Tunes be so heavy, tell a DJ pull that. Tell a DJ pull that.
Alright, so this is it. I'm just gonna lower the volume a bit of the original and gonna hear our recreation.
Yeah, there's no low blow, said it's full fat. Tunes be so heavy, tell a DJ pull that. Tell a DJ pull that.
So yeah, this is it, guys. Let's dive right into Serum and explore our patch. Alright, to kick things off, we're gonna start with our Oscillator A wavetable. So we're gonna go with a mini bass, alright? It's a really cool wavetable that contains loads of harmonics, and that's kind of where we want to go with the sound, alright? So we already loaded in our MIDI, pretty much like this. We obviously gonna need some shaping up to do here. So let's set our wavetable position somewhere around the middle. It's kind of where we want this to be. All right, we're gonna leave the random phase on. All right, and now we're gonna go into Oscillator B, which is gonna be one of the analogs as well, but it's gonna be a square saw weird. That's what it is. And we're gonna pretty much do the same thing we did there, which is basically just tuning a bit of our wavetable position. So we want more of the highs, you know, more close to a saw wave, but not there 100%. So it should be something like this, okay? So now we need something to make this move, all right? So we're gonna go with our LFO, all right? And we're gonna set this to trigger mode actually, because we're gonna rely on the LFO to create the same pattern that we have on our original tune, all right? So for that, we need to turn on the triplets and the dotted in case you want to do something a bit different. So we got like all the options available. And we gotta go with something that's gonna be pretty much like 4 notes triplets, all right? And we're gonna start designing the shape of it, just like a rough sketch for now. It's kind of a long note, you know, it's not that choppy if you listen back to the original, and it should be something like this. But for now, it's enough. So we can assign this LFO to both of our oscillators level, all right? So now it's starting to make a bit more sense. Let's just increase the envelope on the main. All right. It's getting a bit more interesting, even though we still need to kind of do something, right? So you probably know what we need to do afterwards, which is turning up our filter and assigning also our LFO there, right? Make it polar like this. So we can just like control some of these frequencies and now actually make it sound way cleaner. That's cool. Might just need to turn on the always and the portamento or the mono. Alright, cool. Let's just give a bit of an attack here, and also on our main envelope, and decrease a bit of the release. Yeah, I think we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. We obviously gonna tweak a bit of our filter later, because we're gonna be doing some processing on it. So yeah, the best way to start is just actually putting some FX, and then we go back to our patch, okay? First things first will be some distortion, all right? We're gonna go with some tube, and we're gonna use our LFO so we can actually just drive this a bit during these peaks. Alright, that's kind of the goal with this distortion. Now let's go with our chorus in LFO and low pass filter mode. And start writing this up. There's one little detail that we're missing that's going to make sense, but it feels better to do it after this process. You'll know what I mean in a bit. So let's get the chorus going. Now we might need some compression. Alright, so we're going to go with some multiband. Let's get these mids out there. And the tops, but not so much. It's one of those things that you're gonna go back to the patch and just figure out why. And like the lows, we don't need them. This is just a lead. We might leave some so we can EQ them up later. Cool. And now reverb. You notice that there's like some reverb on the track, on the sound I mean, but it's kind of being automated up where it starts to like get bigger by the end of the phrase. So we need to turn it on and just figure out how it works before we actually do the automation. Kind of don't want the lows, I want all the highs. Even be more aggressive and put the reverb before the multiband. And then we get this effect. It's kind of what you hear on the original. Not just this automation, another one that we're going to do later, but this is pretty much it, okay? Within Serum, we're just going to go back to our main page just to do a few tweaks here and there. And then we're going to do some outside processing, all right? So let's flip back to our Oscillator main page, all right? And the first thing we're gonna do on this one is actually tune our Oscillator B, all right? We're gonna tune it to the +4 semitones, all right? So this is actually gonna create the right tuning that we hear on the original, but it just feels weirder without like sort of some stereo spacing. So that's kind of it, like. Now we're getting there. All right, to make this as close as possible to the original, we need to do one macro that's gonna pretty much just do the filter cutoff automation and the reverb amount automation at the same time, okay? So for that, we're gonna assign this macro to the cutoff. It's gonna start there. It's gonna go actually right almost up until the end. So it's gonna feel something like this. Yes. And then we go to our effects tab and we also gonna send this macro to the level of our reverb. We don't wanna go too much over the middle, like 50%, because it starts to lose a lot of power of the synth itself. Okay, so now let's just hear how it feels if we automate this macro. So this is pretty much it. So let's do this automation and put it here on the DW so we can actually have a good perception of it. So we're just automating the macro and we kind of want it to go just as the original goes, just like it's super smooth at first, you know, and then at the end, that's where it kind of like blows up. All right, so it's. We could even increase the MIDI note length just to be more close to the original. And duck down this filter frequency, the macro automation, I mean. Awesome. So let's wrap up this patch here. First, we need to do some EQing. All right, so we're gonna slap in a Pro Q. Move it here. So with this Pro Q, we're pretty much just gonna like brighten up the sound a bit on our tops in dynamic mode. Gonna clean some of this harsher mids. Alright. Now we're gonna add some subtle distortion to this, alright? Gonna go with my reliable as a dope trash, because I just want to like wave shape this a little bit. Like, this is pretty much it. Just close this window, and I think we got our sound. So let's take a listen with our original to see if it actually fits, right?
Yeah, there's no low blow, said it's full fat. Tunes be so heavy, tell the DJ pull that. Tell the DJ pull that. Tell the
Oh yeah, it's pretty decent. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!